Hi guys, Tom at Learn PDR Online. I had an interesting chat today with one of the owners of a small car dealership that I do some work for as a PDR technician, and it was an interesting chat as to whether I cost them money or make them money. We had a difference of opinion. It was all in good heart and banter, but I thought it was quite an interesting concept or mindset, so I thought I'd just make a short video to share my 2 cents, perhaps get some feedback or comments from yourselves. But hopefully just reassert your confidence in the value of PDR as a technician, and also in being insistent and assertive in keeping your pricing right. So stay tuned. So as a PDR technician, I believe that if I walk into a car dealership, car sales place, that I am making that company money. So today is one of my trade accounts. I've been with them for about 4 or 5 years. Only a small place. They've got perhaps, I don't know, 25, 30 cars in total. And I only go in there maybe once every month or two. So quite a small account for me. But it's always good to have a good range, and they're good guys there generally. So we have a bit of a joke and a laugh most days. The interesting conversation I had, he was kind of begrudgingly writing me a check for the work that I'd done. Now, it was only a handful of dents, so probably less than £100 for the work in total. Well, it was. But I joked that I'm not costing him money, I'm making him money. And that every time I walk through the door, he should smile and be pleased to see me, because I am, as a PDR technician, I am making them money by increasing the value of the cars they have on site. He didn't agree as he was writing out the check, and said, "You're an overhead and you're costing me money." As I say, it was in kind of light-hearted and a bit of banter, but I just found it an interesting concept. I spoke to him and his other sales technician, and they both were understanding that yes, I cost them money. Now, physically I do. I see them write out a check, and that is a cost or an overhead. But what I tried to explain is I'm making them money. As a retail customer walks into a car dealership to potentially buy a car. Now, these are all used cars. There's nothing high-end there. But my opinion is, if you walk into a dealership to buy a car and it's got a dent in it, you're going to do one of two things. Either you will not buy the car and you'll just look around for a similar car or another car that doesn't have the dent in it, so they would effectively lose their sale. Or if they're adamant that they do want that car, but they're aware that it's got a dent in it, then the second thing they would possibly do is to try and negotiate the price and maybe knock down the dealership, perhaps £100, £200 for having the damage on the car. So they will buy the car, but not at the price it's stated at. They would like to negotiate a lower price because it's damaged. So that was my take on it. That's perhaps just my opinion on how psychology works. If you walk in to buy a car, you're either going to knock the price down because it's damaged, or walk away and buy a different car that is the same and doesn't have a dent in it. So what I try to explain is that I'm making them money by taking out the dent in the car. I'm increasing the value of the car, and these are all quite old used cars, so like I say, there's nothing high end there. But if it's not really increasing the value, I mean, I'm sure it's more than increasing the value for what I'm charging them, which I think is about £30, or it is £30 a panel. So if I go in, I know that I'm adding that price to the car straight away, just because that's not a lot of money to charge in dent removal. But even if it's not increasing the value of the car, it's definitely that kind of curb appeal when you look at a car and you don't see the dents. If they like it and it's nice, clean and shiny, if they want the car anyway, they're going to buy it. As opposed to if it's got the dent, they might be a bit hesitant, maybe come back later and have a think. So I'm either increasing the value of the car, which pays for my time and bill for being there, so I'm not costing them money, or I'm helping them make that decision that, yes, I like this car, I'm going to buy it, as opposed to putting any kind of negative thoughts. Because as a customer would see one dent on a vehicle, they're then more inclined, I believe, to walk around and be aware of damage, potential damage, and maybe look a bit closer and pick out a second dent or some other chips or a bit of minor damage around the paintwork. So that was my kind of my take on it, my perception perhaps, or mindset. But I just thought it was quite interesting, so I wanted to share with you guys. And I believe as a PDR technician, there is a huge value in the skill and the craft that we do, but also in that kind of scenario of a car dealership and sales place, that I believe you're making that garage money by increasing the value of their cars and increasing the likelihood of a potential customer buying a car there and then, or signing a deposit to say yes, they'd like the car. So that was my opinion. Like I say, we didn't see eye to eye, but it was all kind of a bit of banter and light-hearted. But I thought it was an interesting concept and wanted to share with you guys. So I'll be interested to know your thoughts and feedback. So please do leave your comments below if you've had similar experiences, or just whether you agree with my point or not. It's all nice and friendly, so just leave your comments and feedback below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, if you've enjoyed the video, hopefully you found it useful or informative, just give us that thumbs up, and you can subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon to stay up to date with the next video releases we do, and don't forget to subscribe. So I'm Tom with Learn PDR Online. Thank you very much for watching.